do that, so
Well, we need
we know
to
that.
remember the properties of centroids.
Okay.
In other words, if you're creating a centroid by drawing from the vertex to the midpoint of the other side, that's how you do it.
Okay.
Then what does FH have to be?
FH should have to be 9 as well.
Right. Because
Okay.
that's by definition. Not because
Yeah.
it's right angle. That's accidental.
Yeah.
In other words, it doesn't usually make a right angle when you're creating a centroid. But in this case, it does.
Yeah.
This distance right there is 8. What do we know about the relationships between EP and PH?
Well, EP is half of
Not half.
PH. Or it's like the midpoint, isn't it?
2/3.
Oh, 2/3, my bad.
2/3 of EH. It's one of the few formulas in geometry that has a 2/3 in it. I can't think of any other.
Yeah, I mean, neither.
Sphere is 4/3, but this most stuff is half. It's rare you run into the 2/3 ratio.
Yeah.
But this is one case. When you're dealing with the centroid, know that the line that creates your centroid is this point is not halfway. This is always 2/3 of the whole line. Okay, so if EP is 2/3 of EH, how far is EH?
So if EP is 2/3, then it'd have to be 1/3, wouldn't it?
Well, here's our formula. If 8 equals 2/3 of EH, that's what we know to be true.
Yeah.
Because here's EP, and that's 8. And that's the long part of the centroid. This is the short part here.
Yeah.
So solve this equation, and it'll give you EH.
Can you solve it proportionally and just put it like 8/1? Or no?
Whenever you're solving an equation, your goal is always to isolate the variable.
Okay.
We want EH to be on one side. How do we get EH on one side?
Subtract 2/3.
Not subtract. Let's review our...
it'd be add because it's less than 1.
Not add. You're always doing the opposite, okay? What is the 2/3 doing right now? It's multiplying.
Yeah, multiplying.
Well, we need to divide.
Yeah.
Okay? So I would want to divide both sides by 2/3. And that's going to get rid of that 2/3.
Okay.
And dividing by 2/3 is the same as multiplying by 3/2. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/2. In fact, it's actually a little easier to see if we do that. In other words, I'm going to multiply the right side by the reciprocal of that fraction every time.
Okay.
Notice that when I multiply the right side by the reciprocal of the coefficient, it leaves EH.
Yeah.
So it's really better to think about it as multiplying by the reciprocal rather than dividing by the fraction.
Yeah,
definitely. It turns out to be the same thing, but so this ends up being 12.
Yeah.
Okay, which means 8 is 2/3 of 12. So this little segment here is 4.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
And let's see. What is the length of PH? Oh, 4. We just did that.
Yeah, we said that.
What's the length of EF?
EF.
Well, what's the length of GE?
GE would... Is that a 7.5 or? Okay, yeah,
so
GE would be
because these are all midpoints. Okay. So, what do we know about EF?
We know that EF would have to be the same as the other side.
Yes, DE.
Yeah.
Okay, so EJ is how much?
7.5.
And JF?
7.5.
Okay. The only reason we know this is an isosceles triangle
Uh-huh.
is this right angle that median made.
Okay.
In other words, if the median, and that's what these lines are called, that's a median line. If the median does not make a right angle, then it's not an isosceles triangle.
Okay.
Notice that you've known this for a while, that if you took an isosceles triangle and dropped an altitude, it made a right angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
an altitude is a median. Yeah, it is. An altitude can be a median.
Uh-huh.
But in this particular case, we were creating a median. It happened to be perpendicular, so in this case, the altitude and the median are the same thing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, there's not a lot more to end centers and circumcenters than that, but we'll figure out something else to do. When's your next session?
Sunday, I think, right?
Sunday at 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to,
Okay.
if the review problems your mom was trying to fax to me, are those something you could at least? I mean, are they all about quadrilaterals, or are they about what?
Yeah, they're all about like quadrilaterals.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, trapezoids.
because I can get plenty of questions out of my book, and I can take a picture out of my book and get it on my screen. So
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's good, because that gives you a couple of days to practice your cards.
Uh-huh.
And
Definitely.
even though I maybe would redesign those flashcards a little bit, I'm not quite sure whether the answer is to put the drawing on the other side, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we could try something like that.
Because what you really want to memorize are the properties.
Yeah, exactly.
But you also want to be able to recognize the drawing when you come across it.
Definitely.
So all three things are necessary. The name, the drawing, and the properties is what you want to memorize.
Okay.
But anyway, you'll have a chance maybe to work on that for a couple of days, and then Sunday we'll maybe do a bunch of questions on quads.
Perfect.
Okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, Dylan, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you Sunday.
Sounds good. You too. All right.